Welcome to Khealos' Gaming Table. I am Khealos. Today I want to talk about a fun BattleTech game I participated in this last weekend. One of our local players, Brian, is running a campaign for all of us. The goal is to help new players learn BattleTech, develop tactics, heat management, and how to best optimize their turn. Right now every player runs a single mech to keep things simple. We had 14 players show up at the campaign game. Despite having so many players, the games do go quickly. The players often will watch movement and plot how they want to move when it comes to their turn. They'll also ask advice from the veteran players, which is helpful to get them to learn how to better play the game. The mercenary company that we're playing, Tucson's Raiders, is my personal company. As such, I'm the company commander. We're starting in the late 3050s, which gives us access to some fancy toys from the clan invasion era as well as the FedCom Civil War. Our forces included a Night Star, a Highlander, Archer, Night Sky, Phoenix Hawk, Falconer, Wolfhound, Spartan, Caesar, Penetrator, Black Knight, Raven, Stealth, and Scarabus. The first three missions have been learning missions, with some of the Op 4 being sub-optimized, giving each mech warrior a chance to learn their mech, how to work as a unit, and not just act as a lone wolf. Think of a starting level in a video game, a bit of a challenge, but nothing that you can't defeat. Our fourth mission was on December 30th, 2023, and was holiday themed. The mission entitled Reindeer Games. This mission was also 100% flavored for fun and not to be taken too seriously. The mission briefing is as follows. The battle for New Canton has been over for almost 2 months, but attacks by Capellan insurgents have increased in frequency. A cargo aerospace unit has been downed by these insurgents in the northern part of New Canton, crashing on top of a mountain known as Yeti's Peak. We suspect the insurgents have trapped some of the cargo, but much of it should be still recoverable. Rescue the commander, his crew, any recoverable cargo, and watch out for Yetis. For maps, we used a combination of a tundra ice map with a massive mountain in the middle that Dirk provided, plus a tundra neoprene map. The top of the mountain was a level 6, and then it stepped down to a level 4, down to level 2, and finally level 0. There were all kinds of level 1 hills spread around, along with light and medium woods preventing a lot of long-range shooting. It was a map designed to get up close and personal. The transport that was shot down was represented by Santa's sleigh. 6 presents were scattered around. These are the presents that Brian used for the oh-so-fun Boxing Day shenanigans that we had last year. Our goals were to get to the top of the mountain, rescue Santa, rescue the crew of his sleigh by destroying the tanks, and finally scanning the presents and taking the ones filled with toys and leaving the others filled with coal. The Op 4 consisted of 4 Hetzers, 2 with SRMs, the other 2 with AC-20s, 2 Goblin infantry fighting vehicles, a pair of Fury tanks, each armed with a Gauss rifle. We deployed on the board, rushing forward, and started scanning presents once we got into range. If a mech had a Beagle active probe, it could scan as many presents that were within range. If you did not have a Beagle active probe, you could only scan 1 present at a time, and you could not fire. It took 2 full turns to scan a present. The Archer and Highlander found a nice hill to perch on and started trading shots with the closest Fury tank. The rest of us advanced, looking for targets of opportunity, though I did so very slowly in my 95-ton Night Star. For 2 turns, we traded a few shots, but not much damage was recorded. With so many items blocking line of sight, there weren't too many targets. Turn 3 is where things changed. There was a roar from the mountain. We had awoken one of the Yetis, and an Ursus clan mech came storming out of a cave. It did not like having anyone on its mountain. It attacked the closest Fury tank. For the most part, we ignored the Ursus, at least initially, as we couldn't get much line of sight on it, plus we had plenty of other targets to tangle with, like the Hetzers and the Goblins. The Raven and other mechs got into range and started scanning the presents. After all the toy presents were identified, we removed the coal presents to make the map a little bit cleaner. Robin and her Night Sky bypassed everything and jumped up to the top of the mountain to begin rescuing Santa. Despite getting closer, we still did not have many shots, and some of the Hetzers hunkered down behind level 1 hills, killing all line of sight. We had to go in and find them. Dirk and his Spartan charged up the left flank, did some damage to some of the tanks, but eventually took a through armor critical to his center torso with 3 crits rolled. Needless to say, 2 gyro hits later, he was on the ground. On the plus side, he did fall behind a level 1 hill, meaning anyone who wanted to try and finish him off would have to get closer. During all of this, a second Yeti emerged, angry at the noise and that its mountain had been infested. This time a grizzly mech exited the mountain and started attacking the closest targets. That is until one of the company hit it with a large laser. That's when it shifted its targets to us. As the presents were scanned, they were picked up and removed. Robin was able to make it to Santa, rescue him, and jump down the mountain. The final Yeti joined the battle, this time a Kodiak 2. This beast had an Ultra AC 20 plus jump jets. We had slowly whittled away a lot of the tanks, or at least crippled them, and started working on the Yetis. Using pack tactics, several mechs ganged up on the Ursus and started stripping away armor and damaging it. A good chunk of our forces were on that side of the map and were not able to engage the Grizzly on the other side, but the Kodiak jumped into the fray and started attacking some of the Hetzers. It was only a matter of time before we had to deal with the Kodiak, so while it was distracted, I moved my Night Star into position and started to lay into it with my 2 Gauss rifles and ERPPC. That did get its attention. For the next 3 turns, it and I tangled. The first round, it missed with the Ultra AC-20, but that didn't last. The next 2 rounds, I was backing away from it. It hit me with the Ultra AC-20 and hit in Ultra mode both times. That sucked, as that was 40 points of armor that vanished in a single trigger pull. The Night Star is a beast, however, and I took all that AC damage like a champ. I started to get worried as the armor in my arms started to vanish. The ammo in the Gauss rifle isn't explosive. We get a critical on the rifle itself, and boom goes the dynamite. I gave almost as good as I got, hitting with the Gauss rifles, the PPC, and pulse lasers, stripping away armor, but not quite enough to do any critical damage. I drew the Kodiak in, but as I backed myself into a corner for what I figured was my last stand, it jumped away and started to attack the Black Knight. I was hidden behind a level 2 hill, and it could not see me, but at the same time, I could not see it. During all of this, the Ursus was eventually destroyed, but the Grizzly laid into the Caesar and did enough damage to force James to attempt and fail a PSR. A volley of fire from numerous mechs started to punch through the Kodiak, however. I came out to face the Kodiak. It could not jump for fear of a PSR, and with the heat so high, it could not risk alpha striking. As the company commander, I told the unit that since I had done the majority of the damage, stripping the armor away, I wanted the last crack at it. With a Gauss round, I managed to destroy one of its torsos, destroying the engine slots in that torso, finishing the Kodiak. I did take a critical as well. Luckily, he just destroyed a bin of Gauss ammo. With the Kodiak, Ursus, and Op-4 tanks gone, we turned our sights to the Grizzly. The Grizzly had gone on the offensive and charged into the position that the Highlander and Archer had taken. They traded blows, and the Archer started to take damage, but eventually the volume of fire took the Grizzly down. In the end, all enemy Op-4 tanks were smoldering wreckage, the Yetis would never howl again, and Santa had been rescued. All in all, it was a fine day to be a mech warrior. The mission was a lot of fun, though towards the end I was starting to sweat a bit as those Ultra AC rounds kept hitting me over and over again. You can only take so many of those hits before you were taken down. I don't know what future missions are going to bring, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun finding out. I hope you enjoyed this mission recap. It was a lot of fun to review it and take a look at the pictures that I had taken. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below and tell me what you liked and what you'd like to see in the future, and I'll catch you in the next video.